Since January's theme is imagination, we thought we could have a stuffed animal sleepover. We sent out invitations and posted in the e-news. People dropped their stuffies off on our porch. Each stuffy had a name tag. Their human could list their stuffy's name and other helpful information.
At last the start of the sleepover began.
They started in the children's chapel with the chaperones, Spirit and Love Bear. Tangerine volunteered to light the chalice.
They introduced the theme of imagination, and each animal introduced themselves by name and pronouns and said their favorite thing to imagine. It was a great way for them to get started to know each other.
To make sure everyone had a good time and was safe at the sleepover, they needed a covenant. That's a set of agreements for how a group is when they're together. The animals all liked the ones their human friends had created and signed, so they wanted to stick with that one.
Then Love Bear and Spirit asked what the animals knew about church from their human friends. Sharing gems of joy and concern was something many of them had heard about. They took turns sharing and were great listeners. Some were worried about things they'd heard in the news. Others were excited for the snow or new friends, and some were nervous about their first night away from home.
Rainbow, the cat, and others said that their human really missed singing at church, so they all sang some of their favorite songs from church together. Many of the animals mentioned the human children had told them about the fun of ringing the bell. They wanted to try.
Fonzie, the panda, thought for sure he was big enough to do it, but he wasn't heavy enough. "I'll help," said Oliver, but more weight was needed still. Rainbow, Slothy, climbed on, and still more. Eventually, they needed everyone to climb on, and on the count of 3, they tugged, and then the bell rang like it has never rung before.
Some had heard about the fun their humans had in the nursery, so they all went and played there.
Someone mentioned the idea of going outside for some fresh air. Spirit and Love Bear said that was fine. Well, the bears and monkeys can't see a tree without doing you-know-what.
That's right. They had to climb it. Since they're much lighter than us humans, it didn't seem it would hurt the trees, so they taught all the animals how to climb.
Even the dogs, polar bears, penguins, and even, yes, the llama twins.
Afterward, they had a dinner of popcorn, pretzels, and hot cocoa on the stage. All was going great when a piece of popcorn landed on Wriggly the cat's paw. Wriggly threw it playfully across the circle, and soon, well, everyone joined in.
What fun, but what a mess. "Someone is going to have to clean this up," said Spirit and Love Bear, "and if it's not one of us, that wouldn't be in our covenant of being kind." "But we were having fun," they said. All the animals happily agreed to clean up the stage, and everybody helped out. It went quickly.
Next, they wanted to see the sanctuary. They'd never been in such a big room. "Want to play hide and seek?" asked Douglas. "Yes," said the others, and they quickly scattered. Douglas looked and looked, but those other animals were good at hiding. Finally, Douglas found Oliver. Some animals wanted to speak into the microphone and announced a game of flashlight tag. Then they discovered the youth group had decorated the bell tower room with pretty lights.
In the bell tower room, they took a vote on what to do, and Dance Party was the big winner, except for Pizza, the dog, who did not want to dance. Spirit asked if Pizza would take over her role of photographer, which Pizza happily agreed to. The dancing began.
After that, it was late. Love Bear calmed them down with a song and storybook, and then Penguin told some stories about his life.
Penguin was born in 1949 and had many exciting tales to tell of his life with his human, Coley Baker. Finally, it was time for everyone to get tucked in.
Like all sleepovers at the church, they used pew cushions for mattresses. They were yawning, but also still very excited and talkative. After a while, Spirit and Love Bear had to separate the mattresses a little bit so they would quiet down. The lights of the Christmas tree made a great nightlight.
Fonzie played the organ to wake everyone up, and Football led everyone in some downward dog yoga poses. They had to take some selfies with their new friends that they had made, and then they headed down to the vestry where they had breakfast. They looked at the name tags of all their humans and even put them on. They were drawn to the photograph of all the members of our congregation and decided to take a group photo for themselves. And they hope that all of you can sit with the imagination of how good it will feel when all of us are together again.